Alright guys, welcome back to more 2064 read-only memories. My name is Raven from the Sky. Thank you for joining me, thank you for your support. Keep showing the love, and I'll keep cranking these out for you guys. Now with that being said, let's do this.
Here we are. The COS.io Corporation office building. It looks like most of the businesses on this block are a part of the same corporate coalition under COS.io.
Is that important?
Well, perhaps. At the very least, it means it's unlikely they're the ones interfering with Augmented Eye's articles. Not impossible, but unlikely.
I guess we'll have to look further afield.
That makes sense.
Alright, so let's go. Employs a pretty fancy interactive screen out front. If they can keep it outdoors, the electrical work in it must be on another level. Yeah, rain and all that. Alright, let's go.
The meshnet says Augmented Eye's SF office is run by an individual named Zinn, and Tomcat confirmed she's expecting us. All we have to do now is head up and talk to her. No shenanigans this time.
I hope not. Zinn's IK-47 Executive Series ROM designed for office and high-level account maintenance. Can we talk to it?
The IK-47 aren't known for being verbose. Better leave it.
Oh, hello. Welcome to Augmented Eye. You must be the journalist my network admin said would be showing up. Have a seat. Would you like a drink?
Water would be nice.
My assistant will bring it right away. Look, I'll start off by saying I'm a little uncomfortable about bringing in another journalist to look into this. Whatever you dig up, I'll have to explain to the rest of the press. But it's still better than the other options. Chances are I have another corporation scoping out my territory. If they aren't in the coalition, they'll be expecting a corporate spy, not a news hound. If they are in the coalition, it won't look good for me to send in my own reporters against my allies. Even if I do end up being right. So if I'm damned either way, I'd rather it be by the media. At least then we can fight back on a familiar battlefield. Now, what do you know about our problem here?
Someone is tampering with your articles on the mesh.
That's the long and short of it. My network admin is pulling their hair out over it. I'm not going to pretend I understand everything they say, but from what I understand, the changes to our articles aren't being made from inside our network. The versions on our servers are still the originals, but at some point after they hit the mesh, they get changed. I'm hoping that you can do some digging, maybe hit up your contacts and get a lead on who might be doing it. Even if I have to get answers from the nightly news, it will be a big help. Mostly little things. Word choice, tone of the writing, things that make the writer appear more or less extreme on a topic. So far, almost all of the edits seem to be making our articles more positive on new technologies coming out, and more critical of organizations like the Human Revolution.
So it might be one of them.
That's actually what tipped us off. A harsh criticism one of my writers made about the Human Revolution protests was changed to be downright vitriolic, and I had a hell of a time putting out the fires. My writers and readers aren't exactly fans of them, but I'd rather not pick fights with the Human Revolution if I don't have to. I guess I'm not, but my network admin assures me it's all coming from somewhere else.
Really now?
They told me that they tore out all of the routers that broadcast to the mesh and replaced them with fresh ones. All kinds of tricks involving IP addresses and DNS changes that I'm not going to even begin to claim to understand. I pay them big bucks, so I'm inclined to believe them unless you dig up something that tells me otherwise. Not really.
Where should we start looking?
My admin says that only someone with intimate access to Parallax's network protocols could make these kind of changes as something passes across the net. Personally, I think it's a clever hacker rather than someone inside Parallax itself. The public trust rating of Parallax makes them look like a saint among wolves, so their control over the mesh network provisions is strangling. It's trivially easy to set up ROMs to use a different OS than LIPS or a different meshnet protocol without that trust. Or, you know, Parallax is abusing its power to spread pro-tech propaganda. Doubtful they need to. I'm sure you'll be a good journo and bring me back the right answer.
Okay, that's a start.
I know tin hat conspiracies aren't an ideal start, but it's the best we can do with the info we have. Anything else I can tell you, off the record? If you want it on the record, it'll cost you your firstborn and a really good cigar.
You think of any reason why you're being targeted?
Like what? There isn't much more I can tell you about Augmented Eye, really. It's a fairly simple and straightforward operation, if I say so myself. We started off in Venezuela as a sleek current events and news organization in 2055, almost 10 years ago now. We focus on more in-depth reporting of on-the-street happenings, on top of major news. We're one of the few good ones left. Once folks in other cities saw the type of reporting we do, they all clamored for it. They invested in the right places and it paid off. COS.io Corp is happy to have us here in the OSF. It wasn't until hybrid tech started hitting the public sphere that we had to make any changes to our model. All of that said, I can't see why anyone would target us. Unless they're just trying to embroil us in a mudslinging match with the Human Revolution, and there are much more direct ways of making that happen.
Know if anyone else has articles being manipulated?
Alright, look. I wasn't going to tell you this. If it gets out, I'd have to answer some really hard questions. So, you didn't hear this from me. You might want to go check out TMI Entertainment and Charlie Nova. That's all I'll say. And remember, you take a bite out of him with my name as your defense, I drop you fast.
Okay. I guess that's the competition. What's the real reason you're bringing in outside help? You heard me. Your own journalist should be able to handle digging up some dirt on the hacker.
What? Not wanting to answer prying questions from my coalition board isn't a good enough reason?
Okay.
'Cause I'd really like to avoid that. And look, you've covered culture wars, right? My journalists are good, but they're mostly good at gadget reviews, implant releases, not taking too many stims so they remember what they did at raves for the after-party reports. This needs an investigative journalist with serious contacts, not tech personalities. The fact that my network admin recommended you to me means you probably know the right people. Now, does that cover it? I'd like to remove my nose from your ass.
That's it for now. I'll get back to you if I have more questions.
No, don't bother.
Oh.
In hindsight, I probably should have been a bit more circumspect about speaking to you. Plausible deniability and all that. I won't ask you to lie in anything you write, but do remember you got in contact with me not even second-hand, but third-hand. I certainly didn't sick you on anyone.
True, true.
Wink wink, nudge nudge, or whatever. If you need anything else, have your person get with my person. Don't come here directly. Now, I'd show you the door, but you know the way. And this isn't the only fire I'm trying to put out.
Ah.
Good luck, and goodbye.
Well, that was more confrontational than I'd have expected, considering she was the one needing help.
True.
She never brought you that water either.
That's true, huh?
Is it
I didn't even think
always
about
like this?
She knows the game, but we didn't walk away with nothing. People don't usually give away much. Secrets are expensive. Without lies, there wouldn't be much to write about. You know what? It's all of the above, actually. Secrets are expensive.
Very true. I will admit that I am interested in the possibility of a link back to Parallax. If all of this really is due to somebody manipulating the mesh net on the inside, it may give us the leverage we need to find out what happened to Hayden once and for all. That said, I will take care not to get my hopes up. We should make no assumptions when investigating, lest we lead ourselves down a false path. Anyway, seems like our next step is... What the...
Whoa! Oh!
What the... That's Zinn!
Dude, she was last seen with us. Oh, shoot.
She was defenestrated.
Oh my... She was thrown.
Emergency services are already on the way, and we are severely ill-equipped to help her. We should head back to her office and see if we can determine what happened here. Perhaps we can still dispense justice. This is how we dispense justice, right? It looks like the desk has been cleared off.
It has.
Let's take a look around, but be careful not to disturb any evidence. The police will be here soon.
They destroyed the bot. Shredded the plant. They destroyed the bot for.
Even a ROM like that doesn't deserve an end like this.
Right. That's right, it's still... There's no putting it back together. Alright, the plant...
Her personal computer is not password protected at the moment. Give me a moment to look through her files. Best to keep your fingerprints off of the keyboard.
Yep.
Most of this isn't very interesting. Committee reports, financials, article submissions. Oh, here we go. According to this email between Zinn and her network admin, her lead on TMI Entertainment is a little more solid than she led us to believe.
Huh.
The admin ran a web crawler looking for changes in writing styles. Some blog posts by their head anchor Charlie Nova stood out like a sore thumb. Apparently he's a bit pompous, if in an affable way, and his blog usually just details his day-to-day life. But ever since the human revolution has been in town, he's been smearing them with more venom than you'd expect, considering how neutral his on-air reporting has been. Zinn seemed to think he was just complaining about the protesters fouling up traffic, and whoever is manipulating these posts spun it to make him look critical of the movement as a whole. Just like the Augmented Eye journalist. This Charlie fellow is the one we need to talk to.
Charlie. See if there's anything else we can find.
My thermal sensors only detect a single set of lingering footprints, and they end almost 3 feet away from the window. Considering the density of this glass, I can't imagine Zinn jumped from that far and managed to throw herself through the pane without help.
Exactly.
But who could have done it? I don't see any obvious marks on the floor or any other thermal hotspots.
You're saying no one else was in here?
It doesn't look like it. We should go.
Yeah, we should.
There isn't anything else here, and the police are almost on the scene.
Son of a...
Oh!
I should have figured the two of you would be here. You just won't stay out of trouble no matter what I say, will you?
This is a total misunderstanding.
I assure you, Detective Rivers, we are merely in the wrong place at the wrong time. We had an appointment with Zinn to discuss a possible lead and found her office in this state of disrepair.
Of course you did. Damn it. Fine, fine. Get the hell out of here before anyone else shows up. We'll chat about the case more when I'm not busy scraping bodies off the pavement. You hear me?
Certainly, Detective Rivers. I'll forward you a report of what we know immediately, and we can speak further at a later time.
Yeah, whatever. Get moving.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was close. I didn't think she would buy it. She wouldn't have for me.
It doesn't matter anyway. Detective Rivers has every bit of information that Zinn gave us on that computer. Her investigation will not be hampered by our absence, whereas ours is halted if we're stuck giving answers she can just as well get from a hard drive. Has it occurred to you that whoever threw Zinn out of that window could be after the same thing we are, except to silence the story rather than to get it out?
Yep.
We have little time for fooling about and must get to Charlie Nova before something happens to him too. I have highlighted the main Neo SF offices for TMI Entertainment on your map. Let's go!
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stop it here. Thank you for joining me for this episode of 2064 Read Only Memories. If you liked this episode, drop a like and subscribe to help the channel series grow. My name is Raven from the Sky. Take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.